And we've talked about these points here a bit, but it's still good to hear it from different perspectives. I mean, the applications, the SaaS applications, the ones that we're still running off floppies that solve industry specific problems, they're great, but they're typically good at processing, storing the data. Many closed systems, and of course, a lot of those are sunset or have no way of getting out. How can iPaaS help companies get the most out of the data that these systems are processing? Tom?
Sure. Let me tell a short three-part story. The first part goes like this. We were developing an app for human health and nutrition, and we wanted the users to be able to develop their own with low code. So the idea is that, there's lots of apps out there to manage your health and nutrition, to keep track of your calories and so forth, but we wanted to provide some tools for getting recommendations for daily allowances of nutrients, for having your own personal preferences that are integrated into the system. So the very first low-code app that I developed with a system called Reaccess was for a citizen developer to develop an app for themselves. But the second was more for, let's say, industry use of a tool like this. So where does this type of problem occur? It occurs in human health and nutrition, of course, whether you're managing school lunch programs, convalescent homes, hospitals. You need to think about the nutrient requirements of the people. And so you have different settings. Now you have different environments in which you're trying to get information. So the second part of the story is this one part of going out and getting data from different data sources was very challenging. In fact, the statistical software company, SAS, statistical analytical software, says that 80 to 85% of an analyst's time is spent just getting the data and organizing it, finding ways of bringing it into your own system and putting it in the format that you need to make your decisions, dealing with things like abbreviations or a spreadsheet with merged cells. These are nuisances that happen all the time in many different industries. So we developed another app that said we're gonna develop a tool that's very easy to use for a user to identify what's the data coming in that needs to operate in my platform or for my job. Now we're in a situation where industries want to integrate these capabilities and to have a platform for all of these capabilities to operate together. So now we're in the iPaaS and the final part of the story. What we're looking at now is the ability to not just bring the data in, but to call another process, a callable optimizer that can provide a least cost formulation of nutrient requirements, or an optimizer that can look at making various choices for what you keep in inventory or how you schedule. So all of these tools allowing for citizen development to get the job done that they need done, the tools to help integrate information from different systems, and now having a platform where all of that can occur at the same place is part of this digital transformation that was the underlying factor in that three-part story. Thank you for letting me tell it.
No, I appreciate it. And I wanted to use the graphic that we showed at the IPPE, which is a large process manufacturing event a couple of weeks ago, which has the iPaaS as the center of the sphere, so to speak, and all of those applications that do their wonderful things passing through it. And it's a good way to visualize it. And I can forward that to anybody that's interested. Mark, and just so we're cognizant of time, we got 15 minutes, but I want to leave the last 5 for kind of open. So Mark, if you could go to this, that would be great.
Yeah, real quick. So when I think about a lot of the newer products that are coming online and just the buying processes for those, I think, most SaaS products, they realize that they have to kind of integrate or die. So even for very niche products, kind of knowing that integrations is super important. For things that are legacy, we kind of look at it as like a bridge to cloud type strategy that iPaaS can be super helpful with. And so the example would be, you can really use your iPaaS product in order to take maybe a legacy ERP or some other kind of niche proprietary system that runs within your organization and use that to connect to more advanced and newer cloud-based systems. And then the value of that long term is once the iPaaS is able to do that, as opposed to some type of point-to-point or custom solution, as you modernize your applications, your iPaaS just comes along with you, and as more and more gets moved to cloud, the iPaaS just kind of allows that to happen organically.
Swiftly and event driven, and there's a whole other discussion on all the intelligence that happens instead of just a point-to-point integration. But we'll save that. Stephen?
I would just say that, by definition, digital transformation is trying to tell the world that there's questions that are going to come up so quickly you can't possibly have thought of all of them. And these niche software solutions are not really able to adjust, and that's why we're moving into this iPaaS world. I had to have a very long meeting with HR to explain to them why I needed, and it's not really iPaaS, but it's data integration, why we needed the HRIS system to connect to Active Directory, just so IT could efficiently offboard employees we didn't have at a client that we had, and just so we could get a handle on the number of laptops that should be in the field and should be maintained. It's one of those things where we need to understand we can't conceive of all the uses for our data in whatever niche we happen to be in.
Yep. You just brought up another strong topic, which was the analysis. You say how to get into this. Well, analyzing all the applications that you're paying all that maintenance on, how many duplicate, triplicate, quadruplet, right, Catherine, licenses for the same application do you have? Because it's all autonomous. It's not connected. But Adam.
Yeah. So I mean, we build automation solutions for our clients, and we like to think of that as the journey, but more times than not, we have to pull data from somewhere and then store it somewhere. So in the past, we would have to custom dev into whichever system, could be legacy system, could be newer system that a client's running. But now we use iPaaS providers like FlowGear, for example, who sit there and they've got connectors to all these other software solutions. So now we can just stick to our knitting and stick to that journey side of it, which we do, and then use iPaaS providers to pull data or to push data into a client's repository. So that works really well for us.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, what are you collecting all these databases and having them sit there? That's great. What are you going to do with them? It needs to be operating live. So.